joining us tonight. And I would love to introduce our speaker, Kash Iraggi-Wiggins, who is going to talk to us tonight about incorporating pure essential oils into your daily life. So I am going to hand it over to Kash. And if I could ask if you're able to mute, I'm going to ask everybody to please mute themselves. I see most of you are, just so we don't get that background noise. And then if you have a question, you can pop it in the chat or wave your hand, and we'll just kind of proceed like that. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it off to you, Kash.
Thanks, Jen. So hi, everybody. My name is Kash Iraggi-Wiggins, and I'm a certified aromatherapist. I own a local business, and it's called Balance Aromatherapy. I don't know how well you can see that, but that's what my products look like on the shelf. I have my products in Green Star. I make products for August Moon Spa at La Tourelle. I do the Ithaca Farmers Market. I have my products in Cat's Pajamas. I have my products in a little, great little gallery in Owego called Gallery 41. It's a sweet little place. So, so that's what we're going to talk about today. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a certified aromatherapist, which means I got, I had to take 1,000 hours worth of aromatherapy education. I studied with a company called Aroma Head. Many of you may be familiar with it. The founder, Andrea Bouget, was from Ithaca, New York. She started the Finger Lakes School of Massage. And I studied to get my certification from her in her school. So when you hear someone is a certified aromatherapist and talking about going to school for this, a lot of aromatherapy is science. So it's science-based. One of the reasons we go to school to study aromatherapy is it's not just about it smelling good and perhaps it helping you relax and helping you wake up. I mean, those are all really great things. But the reason it does that is science-based. And we had to study the oils. We had to study like what exactly is in lemon that it helps you recall memory. What exactly is in lavender that helps you relax the nervous system. We also had to study what parts of the body that a certain oil would affect. And interesting, what I find interesting, you're going to get my take on aromatherapy. So what I find interesting was how essential oils leave the body. You know, geranium, which is a fabulous oil if you're going through menopause. And it helps with the anxiety of menopause. It leaves the body through the skin. So when I was going through menopause and I made up this blend, and every time I would have a hot flash, there was a poof of geranium. Anyone sitting next to me was like, whoa, what's that? But that's how it leaves the body through the skin. So, and many people may have heard, like, you can take a cut clove of garlic and run it across the bottom of your foot, and you'll be able to taste it. It's like, that's how it moves through the body. So these are important. I got interested in aromatherapy. I was living in Atlanta, Georgia, and it was over 30 years ago. And I was pregnant for my first child, and I didn't want to put anything on my child that wasn't 100% natural. So 35 years ago, there just wasn't a co-op, and there just wasn't internet that you could just look up. So I spent a lot of time in the library studying herbs and practicing at home what I could use, what I could make. I would grow and grinder baby food and all that. And ironically, I started working with a gentleman who did aromatherapy. So he taught me some of it. He taught me how to blend. He taught me how to blend other products, which was great. And, you know, I was able to make the majority of the things I put on my baby. And then we moved from Atlanta, Georgia, back to Ithaca. And at that time, I opened a small shop at what was then the Ramada Inn. The Ramada Inn at that time was downtown. And so I would, you know, scent lotions and do a little bit of aromatherapy. But I also by now then had a second child and I was a little overwhelmed. So I took a hiatus from doing my aromatherapy outside of with my children, etc. And they've gone to bed with a drop of lavender on their pillow their whole lives. They still do it to this day, and they do it with their own children. But and I was a full-time mom, and when my oldest child, throughout those years, I always brought holistic learning into our household. I mean, I still made products, but I made them just for my children or myself or my family. You know, I would drag my kids to reflexology classes and massage classes. And just, I was so fascinated by the human body and how we could heal it ourselves, etc. And also a full-time mom with a husband that traveled a lot. So, you know, I was full-time mom alone a lot. When my oldest daughter, the baby that really got me started with this whole thing, when she was 18, she announced she wanted to go to massage school. And I was 100% for it. And she wasn't in massage school 2 months when she came home and said, "Mom, you belong in this school. I love this school." And she, you know, it's her career, but she said, "You belong in this school." And I was going through a time in my life where I was ready for a change. And I'd pretty much raised my kids. My husband and I had a private business, and I was ready. So at 50 years old, I went to massage school, and it just reopened everything in my life. My soul opened, and I got back into my aromatherapy business, and that's when I decided to go to school and actually study aromatherapy. I love massage, but what I found with a lot of the people that I went to school with, we found our niche, and my niche was aromatherapy, always has been. In the meantime, I worked at a spa. I ended up running the spa, August Moon Spa. And I reopened an aromatherapy business. And what I did was I started making products for the spa, which launched outside of the spa. So I still, to this day, and we're talking 17 years ago, I still make August Moon Spa's products, but I private label for them. So when you go to August Moon Spa and you get a New York State's finest scrub, I've made it. And I've made it with my friends, New York State's maple sugar and maple syrup. So I use as many local ingredients as I can find. I use Wade's honey beeswax in all my products that need beeswax. And I adamantly source as close to here as I can for my products. And here's why. So one of the things I learned, in the meantime, I went to herbal school and became an herbalist as well, which took my business to a whole different level. And what I learned from my herbalist teacher, and that was Heartstone, Tammy and Chris, was that which grows around you is that which is meant for you. So if you go out in your front yard and your front yard is full of lemon balm, you're supposed to be using it. You're supposed to be taking it into your body, whether you, I mean, you can ingest lemon balm. It's wonderful for you. But so I took that to heart. And so that which grows around me and in our area, we're so lucky and it's so rich. That's what I use in my products. I have to source outside because I've gotten a little big, but that's okay. I'm still, I'm still that certified aromatherapist, herbalist at my heart and a purist, and that's what matters to me. So that's about me. My business, Balance Aromatherapy, been around 15 years. Again, Green Star, Ithaca Farmers Market, et cetera, et cetera. But keep in mind, I make the products. I have a little apprentice, not little. I have an apprentice. She's wonderful. I adore her. And she makes some of the products. But I source everything. I know where everything comes from, and I know what I want to use in my products. And that's important for me. Segue into essential oils in your daily life. And that's a really important part of this. Know where your essential oils come from. Know that they're pure. So you can go pretty much anywhere these days and you can buy essential oils. You can buy a little bottle and they're costly depending on the oil. And the reason is, depends on how much plant material it takes to get that oil. Like rose, it takes tons and tons of rose petals to get grams of pure rose essential oil, which is why it's outrageously expensive and worth every penny, because you do not need much. So know your oils. This is the housekeeping part of my lecture. Know where your oils come from. Know that they're pure. And you can read right on the bottle. So sweet orange, and then it's written in Latin. So the name of sweet orange essential oil, that's what it is in Latin. And it's just 100% pure essential oils. There's no additive, there's no jojoba oil, there's nothing else in this oil. Just 100% essential oils. And it's important to know that because some companies dilute their oils. I'm not saying it's a horrible thing. Depends on what you're diluting them with. So if you're buying a pure essential oil that's been diluted with a petroleum product or a mineral product, why bother? Doesn't make any sense. Because these products are going to sit on the surface of the skin. They're not going to go through the dermis epidermis. They're not going to enter the bloodstream. You need to be careful what's in your oils. And that's why you want to always buy from a reputable company. And there's some great ones out there. I mean, I buy from a lot of different suppliers because I buy in very large quantities. But Mountain Rose herbs, if you go to Green Star and you talk to them, they're very knowledgeable about where their oils come from. Aracara, there's some great oils out there, and there's some great companies, but you need to do a little research on their company. The other thing to keep in mind that's very important is essential oils can vary greatly depending on the country they're grown in and the atmosphere they're grown in. So an essential oil like a rosemary that's grown higher up in the mountains of, say, Sicily, is going to have a different texture to it than those grown in a warmer, more moist climate. So it can affect the scent, but it also affects the strength of your oils. So the more you get to know oils and buy oils, you're going to find certain ones that you really like and stick with it. Just because you happen to be in Target and you ran out of lavender doesn't mean today's the day to buy lavender. If you have a company, you feel safe with it, you're comfortable with it, stick with it. People oftentimes think they're a little too cavalier with essential oils. So that's another reason I studied with the teacher I did. I don't recommend ingesting oils. Some companies do. If you want to do the research, do the research. I do not use oils on children younger than 2. I do not recommend ingesting essential oils, even though it is safe and you can. I don't do it. So, I mean, mine are ingested every day. I work around essential oils every day and they get through my skin. I can't help it. I'm around them. They get on my fingertips. They get in my hair. Yeah, so it's going through the dermis epidermis. So I'm essentially ingesting them, but I'm not an advocate. I don't advocate for taking drops of grapefruit on your tongue. So that's just where I'm coming from. And it's what I learned from my teacher, and I respect her greatly. So the important things, the housekeeping part is know your oils, know you're buying from a really buy from a company you've studied, you've read about, you trust them. And there's some great ones, and you can always email. I'd be happy. Mine are around, and I buy from very good companies. You can email me and I can give you names of other companies. So that's, I'm happy to. I'm not in the business of just selling essential oils, so, but I do sell them. So that's that. The other thing is, please have respect for your oils. So this is not something to take lightly. So here's an example. Ylang ylang essential oil, wonderful, almost a frangipani smell. It lowers blood pressure. So you're not going to be using this on someone that already has low blood pressure. This is the type of thing that willy-nilly use of essential oils, I don't advocate. So know why you're using a certain oil. I mean, if something smells good to you, try it out. Try a drop of it in a diffuser rather than just whole hog. Let me put this in jojoba oil, which is going to go through the dermis epidermis, or let me use it on my aging parent or someone with a compromised immune system. I mean, those are the type of things that you have to be so very, very careful of. Run-of-the-mill oils, lavender, pure lavender. It's a pretty safe oil, but there has been stuff written lately about its hormonal effects on young boys. So, you know, overuse of any oil is not a good idea. Just those are the little tips and things you need to pay attention. The other thing is more is not always better. So run of the mill, my products that are out in the general public, I don't know who you are and you're buying my jojoba oil that's scented with a rosemary, peppermint, juniper, tea tree blend, and it's wonderful. but I don't know you. So I want to be careful the number of drops I'm going to put in that. And there's a standard number, 8 to 10 drops per ounce. So if I'm making an 8-ounce bottle of rosemary, peppermint, jojoba, and that's predominantly what I use, and I'll go into jojoba a little bit, it's going to have 80 drops in it. It's not, I'm not going to keep like scenting it till I can smell it. It's going to have 80 drops in it because that's safe across the board. So safe for someone that's just, I don't know their medical history. It's like walk into Target or Walmart or whatever, wherever you shop, and take something off the shelf. So that's another important thing for people to keep in mind. So our olfactory glands will shut down on us if we overload them. I don't know if you've ever walked into a store and there's a strong odor and you walk in, it's like, whoa, that's weird. And then suddenly you don't smell it anymore because your olfactory glands are like, okay, we're going to shut down because, we don't want to walk around all day smelling this. And so your olfactory glands will just sort of stop, which is why you want your percentages when you're making or scenting something. Because your olfactory glands, especially like a rosemary, I mean, everybody knows pretty much how strong rosemary can be. So a rosemary that you're going to put in something, your olfactory glands may smell it for a while and then say, I'm done. But it's still there. Have you ever put something on in the morning and you go out and you're around a friend and you give them a hug and they go, oh, you smell so good. And you're like, oh, I can't even smell me anymore. That's why. If our olfactory glands were at peak all day, that's all we would do all day. I mean, it would be exhausting. So keep in mind, there are percentages and you want to go on the safe end, not go by your scent. If you're making a blend, that's different, but we have classes for that. So housekeeping again, buy really good quality oils. Don't skimp. Make sure they're pure oils, not cut with anything. Your percentages, 8 to 10 drops per drop, per ounce. 8-ounce bottle, 80 drops. Like even less. You're not going to go more. There are certain oils you do not use on immune compromised at all. One you can use, mandarin. Mandarin is a very, very safe oil. It's not well known. It has a very lovely, subtle scent to it, and it's safe. You're going to drop it if you're working with a child, over the age of 2. You're going to drop that percentage. You're going to go more like a 4 to 5 drops per ounce, just to be safe for the immune compromised. But Roman chamomile, mandarin, some of those oils can safely be used with someone who does have a compromised immune system. As long as you're being careful and as long as you're watching your percentage. So those are a couple of housekeeping. Does anybody have any questions? I want to leave space for questions if anybody has them. And I can't see anybody but Jen and myself. So if you have a question, you raise your hand and Jen will unmute you. Or just unmute yourself and ask. Okay, sounds like we're still good on housekeeping. And the reason I'm going through all of these is because we're going to get into the part where how do we use essential oils in our daily life? Like, how can we like bring that into our life? And I want to make sure you know those housekeeping rules before you do that, before you start making your own counter cleaner, before you start making your own spritzers, which I hope you all do. I want you to be aware of pure oils, percentages, etc., etc. So, great. So bringing aromatherapy into your daily life, it really is so very, very easy. And I don't just say that because I work with them every single solitary day of my life. I say that because it really is. And if it wasn't, I probably wouldn't be doing what I am. If I wasn't able to get the information I needed and learn how to make that which I make, and it wasn't relatively easy, I don't think I would have stuck with it. But here are just a gamut of ways that you can daily bring essential oils into your life. So, essential oil diffuser. You can buy them anywhere. They don't have to be special. They don't have to be cold or vapor. I mean, those are really high tech and they're lovely, but they don't have to be. I would say the only thing that's really important when you buy an essential oil diffuser is that it's a diffuser that will turn itself off if it runs out of water. I think that's important. I mean, I don't usually leave mine on when I'm not home, but when I'm home all day and it's running all day, I want to know that when it gets low, it's going to turn itself off. The other thing that is important with your diffuser is it's not a good idea to heat essential oils. It's really best to keep them in cold water. Maybe I can see this. I can see the grid. I can see you guys. Yay. I'm not super technical savvy. So you want to be able to put water and then your drops of essential oil. Water is so important. I mean, essential oils are volatile. You don't want to just stick them in a heating unit. So water, 5 drops of essential oil. I mean, unless your diffuser is this big, 5 drops is a really good percentage. And again, remember, you're going to smell it at first, and then it's just going to be a part of your daily life. But anybody walking in your house is going to be like, oh, it smells so nice in here. So a diffuser is a really great way to get essential oils into the air, and it just diffuses it into a vapor. And now, great thing about diffusers is when you use something like sweet orange or peppermint or eucalyptus and sweet orange together is really nice. It cleans the air of bacteria. So as it's diffusing into the air, it's actually cleaning the air. So lavender's lovely. I diffuse lavender. I have a tendency to mix a lot, but experimenting is fun too. Grapefruit and sweet orange together, beautiful. And it's a very light, very clean scent. And it's cleaning the air. So a diffuser has multi-purpose, not just giving you a lovely scent, but it actually, those particles are going into the air and cleaning it of bacteria. It's not going to clean your whole house's air, but it's going to add to the cleanliness. If you have any type of vaporizer that you can add essential oils to the water. Really great thing too. So diffusing, great way, and daily. I mean, that you're around it every day. You're going to be breathing it in. When you breathe in essential oils, they enter the mucous membrane. When they enter the mucous membrane, they enter the body. And that's how they work. Taking 1 drop before you get into the shower, putting 3 or 4 drops on the floor of the shower. And when you turn the hot water on, it's a burst of scent. So it's getting, adding essential oil and water are great combinations because they're gentle to breathe in. So that's another way to add a little essential oil to your daily routine, is just 3 or 4 drops, bottom of the shower. And when you hit it with hot water, it's going to burst into the air. It's not going to stick around. It's not going to last a long time, but it's a lovely way to start your day. If you're a bath person, putting essential oils directly in the water just doesn't, I mean, it's just going to sit on the top. But you can take sea salt, like a palm's worth of sea salt, 2 to 3 drops, that's all you need. Put it in the water, and the salt helps it diffuse into the water. So it's sort of carrying it into the water. Lovely way. Plus, it's good for your skin. Also, sometimes I'll take just a little shot glass of jojoba oil. I use jojoba oil predominantly to mix with my essential oils if I'm mixing them, because jojoba oil is so good for your skin. It mimics sebum, which our body creates naturally. So your body is tricked into thinking, oh, sebum, sure, come on in. And it lets it into the body. So massage therapists use jojoba at August Moon Spa. That's what we generally use on clients. So really good thing to have around. It's called, I'll put it in the chat. It's Jojoba, jojoba. You want cold pressed. You don't want chemically extracted, and it should be bright yellow. If it's clear, you don't want it. Bright yellow, and it's cold pressed. And I'll put a company name in there, the really good company that I use. But you can Google it and it'll come up it'll come up jojoba. But anyway, I digress. So in the shower, a diffuser, in the bath. Another really great way to use essential oils is just if you're cleaning your kitchen, taking a tea tree or lemon, just straight oil. And you can put a drop of lemon or a drop of tea tree on your counter and just sort of wipe it with a rag, and it's going to kill germs. Eucalyptus, as we know, is antifungal, so it can work together to kill germs and kill funguses on the countertop. You can make your own countertop cleaner. There are a ton of recipes online. I'm not going to put a recipe in the chat. Just Google it. Homemade counter cleaner. You'll get a million hits. Yeah, and it's worth it. I mean, what I love about my counter cleaner, and I don't like to clean, so that I have to put that out there. So I made a counter cleaner that I love the smell. It's got a little sweet orange, it's got some lavender, it's got a little tea tree for antifungal, and I really love every time I spritz it, so I'm more likely to clean the counter and like it when I do clean the counter. So homemade counter cleaner, homemade scrubs, all those things for the kitchen and bath. Ton of recipes online. They're all good. As long as you're using a good essential oil, you're going to be fine. Vinegar, vinegar, sea salt is a good thing to put in your homemade cleaners. I don't know, water, a little alcohol, a little bit of alcohol. I mean, it's all a great thing. And then you mix up a little blend that you really love. Try the sweet orange and grapefruit. Lovely.
Sorry
Yeah.
to interrupt, Cash, it looks like Jim has his hand up.
I do. I just have a quick question, and I'm not sure if this is the appropriate time. But when you were saying like some have a good smell to it and some are good to clear bacteria, in your diffuser, can I use like sweet orange and say eucalyptus, or sweet orange and peach tree? Like, can I mix them for my diffuser, or just one per try?
You can definitely mix in your diffuser, and one of the advantages to mixing is when you take something like eucalyptus, it's very strong. So when you're diffusing it, it can be overpowering. But adding a little lavender to it, and lavender is antibacterial, antifungal, it's not antifungal, antibacterial. It speaks to the nervous system, so it's very relaxing, and it will soften some of the, like lavender and tea tree or lavender and eucalyptus. It just softens it enough that it's not harsh. Some essential oils diffused, like tea tree, like eucalyptus, like juniper, they can smell a little harsh. So just tap them down with something. Tap them down with a little sweet orange or grapefruit, just a little. So you're going to get the medicinal properties of all your oils, because they're going to just make friends and diffuse into the air. But it's not going to be overpowering. Good question, Jim.
Thank you.
And just stick to your percentages. So like, if you're doing 5 drops, maybe you would do 2 drops of eucalyptus, 3 of lavender, and try it. You know, experiment a little bit. All right, other daily places. So you can put a drop of sweet orange on the filter of your vacuum cleaner. And every time you vacuum, or lemongrass is great for that too, just a drop. And every time you're going to get this lovely scent. It makes me want to vacuum more, because I don't like to vacuum and I don't like to clean. But yeah, so spritzers. So a spritzer, the reason I recommend and I make them and I sell a ton of them is it's a great way to get these essential oils into the mucous membranes. So you literally spritz your face and breathe it in. And it's going right into the mucous membranes. It's going to sit, I spritz every single day. In the morning I wake up, I wash, I spritz, I moisturize. That's like a day, and then I brush my teeth. That's a daily routine for me. When you spritz, you're ingesting the essential oil, you're toning your skin, you're closing the pores. So really simple spritz formula. Aloe vera, distilled water, little vitamin E, and your essential oil blend, like whether you just have one essential oil. So if we've got 2, it's a 2-ounce spritz. How many essential oils, how many drops are we going to put in? So 8 drops per ounce. So that's the formula to go by. And so you can I sell my spritzers at farmers market, and you can go online on my website. I put it in the chat and get a sense of what to put in your spritzers. Because in case you don't remember it, but distilled water, aloe vera. I put a little witch hazel in mine because I like the toning effect. And your essential oil blend, and then just spritz your face and breathe it in. You don't even have to do all that. You can take distilled water and put a couple drops of essential oil in it and shake it. As long as you shake it. The reason I do the aloe vera and the vitamin E is it's moisturizing and it holds the essential oil. As we know, oil and water just don't mix. So that's why when you're going to take a bath, you're going to put it in, you could put it in aloe vera gel, put it in sea salt. But when you're making a spritzer, putting a tablespoon of, or a teaspoon worth of aloe vera gel, and you can do it from your aloe plant. You can, if you have one, squeeze out the gel, put it in a little 2-ounce bottle or 4-ounce bottle. Percentages aren't going to matter that much for you because you're making it for yourself. If you start a business and you start making a lot of this, then take a course and you'll really get your percentages. But to just experiment, it's a wonderful thing to do. And you're using pure oils. You're being very careful of, like, use distilled water or pure water. Don't do it out of the faucet. We never know what's in there. You can experiment like vitamin E or evening primrose oil or rose hips oil, whatever you want to put in there that you want on your face or on your body. Doesn't have to be just face. I mean, just in the middle of your day and you've had a long day and you pick up your spritzer and you just spritz. Sorry I don't have one in front of me to show you, but it's a great thing to have around. I keep them in my car. I keep them in my house. They're all over my office, of course. At August Moon Spa, at the end of a massage, we spritz over our client. So when they are coming to after a massage, that's what they breathe in. It's a lovely way to end a massage if one has to end a massage. Yeah, so countertops, a couple drops of lemon. I would be careful if you have coriander, or not coriander, corning. That the certain countertops, you wouldn't be wanting to put lemon on them. A lavender would be fine, but it would be a little harsh. Tea tree would be fine. You're going to find as you start working with essential oils, some are much thicker than others. Peppermint is actually quite a thick oil. Of course, our resins are very thick, but rosemary has a slight green hint to it. German chamomile is bright blue. No, it's fascinating when you start learning about them. And Roman chamomile, remember, Roman chamomile is safe for immune compromise, safe for children over the age of 2 in percentage. And it has a wonderful green apple scent. It's very relaxing. It's the same chamomile we drink, or chamomile tea. So very relaxing. Great thing to have around in the evening if you're trying to relax and sleep. As is lavender. So daily use. You know, that the more you get to know your essential oils, the more you're going to realize how many uses there are for them. If you're buying body care products that contain essential oils, buy from a reputable company. because it is gonna go on the skin. You can always, like, if you're feeling very anxious, having a roll-on is a wonderful way. It's like portable essential oils. It's not going to spill in your purse or your pocket. So roll-ons are blended with oil. My roll-ons are blended with jojoba oil. So if you're feeling a little anxious, you're in traffic, or you have to take a test, or you have to give a presentation, great thing to have on hand. And you can just roll them on. The reason we suggest like the wrist or décolleté is because the skin is very thin there. So rolling it on a place such as this, every time you bring it up to your face, the scent is gonna be there. The skin is thin. And as I said, when you use jojoba oil, it's our skin recognizes it as a sebum. It's not sebum, and it's going to go through the dermis epidermis, so you're going to be able to really get the therapeutic effects of not only the jojoba, but the essential oil that you've put in the jojoba. So a roll-on, sticking it in your pocket, walking around with it. Patchouli is incredibly antiseptic and grounding. And, you know, we live in Ithaca. I never realized that patchouli was a grounding essential oil till I started studying it, but it makes sense because it became so popular when we were all, you know, kind of getting high. And it just grounds you, especially if you put it on the bottom of your foot. You don't have, like, in times of anxiety, wonderful roll on to have around, especially like if you're going in and you have to give a speech, you're going in for a job interview, or you're going to a family event that you're a little anxious about. Really great idea to have something in your pocket that's going to keep you grounded. And patchouli, lavender, vetiver, amazingly grounding. Really great oils to have around. So this is the ways that pure essential oils can be brought into your life on a daily basis. And it just becomes something you do. I mean, kind of who you are. Like, oh yeah, I always have this roll on of whatever in my purse. So sometimes if you're feeling a little nauseous, it's a good thing. Like the rosemary peppermint's a good one. Or if you have a headache, you can get headache roll-ons. Make sure they're pure, make sure they're from a reputable company, and use them. And you will find your tolerance. You will find, okay, that's all I need. I just needed to smell it. I just needed the diffuser in the other room, and I just needed to walk through that room, or something like that. Like it's a good way to keep those things in mind. So we're into the presentation for an hour, and the second half of the presentation is really about people having questions or wondering about anything, having questions about those things. Like, is there something specific you'd like me to get into or cover? Go ahead, Jim.
So I guess not knowing anything, is there any potential for me causing harm by mixing the wrong aromas or anything like that? Is there any potential for harm?
No, but run of the mill, keep it to less than 5 oils together, because then you're just like, If you go too far over that, it's kind of a waste of oils. Where harm can be done is when you use it in a high percentage that's not necessary. I mean, those are the things you have to keep in mind. If you're going to be blending oils, you're going to be picking them up and you're going to be dropping the oils. Be careful of your hands, wash your hands before and after. You can also wash your hands in between. If it pure essential oils will eat away like a good piece of furniture. You don't want to drop pure essential oils on it. It will eat away at the coating on a good piece of furniture. If in any way you were to get oil in your mouth or your eyes, if you take just pure olive oil, like a dime's worth of olive oil, and swish it across your eyes, because essential oils are attracted to oil and it's going to help pull that out, or on your tongue. But there's really no, you can't mix certain oils that would be harmful. You should keep in mind, like I was sharing in the beginning, like something like ylang ylang that lowers the blood pressure. Like you're not gonna make someone crash blood pressure wise by diffusing ylang ylang. The reason I give these harsh warnings is essential oils are not toys, and we need to have respect for them. And something like ylang ylang, or how rosemary can sort of pep you up. You know, it's like wakes you up. You're not gonna be diffusing rosemary an hour before you want to go to bed, or put it in your bath if you're trying to relax. There is plenty of information all over the web on what essential oils do, what different essential oils do. And for the majority, the majority of it's very accurate. I mean, they know it, like you just research it. Now it's a matter of respecting that oil and what it's around for. So, for example, my rosemary peppermint blend. So I blended it to be antifungal. That was my goal. And I am a firm believer, if it doesn't smell good, you're not going to use it. So I also have a goal when I'm making something that it's safe. It's gonna, it has a purpose, and it's gonna smell good. If it doesn't smell good, you're not gonna use it. So my rosemary peppermint blend, it's rosemary, obviously, peppermint, juniper, which is very antifungal, and good for the respiratory system. Tea tree, antimicrobial, antifungal. So it's and rosemary, just my rosemary peppermint is about waking up. The rosemary peppermint spritzer, you want to keep it in your car and spritz when it's a hot day or keep it at your desk and late in the afternoon. So that's when you sit down. When I teach a course, what I talk to people about is, okay, what do you want to make and why do you want to make it? So that's your basis. When you're going to go into aromatherapy, what's your goal? What's your motive? Do you want something that's going to kill germs, antibacterial, anti-itch, relaxing? So that's an important part of it, and that's where you're going to start. And then you're going to go into, so how do I want this to show up? Remember, keep in mind, like if it's not easy, you're not going to do it. If you have to jump through 5 steps to be able to use your aromatherapy product, like for example, if every time you wanted to clean your counter, you had to mix your blend and then, you know, have everything ready. Whereas if you make your counter cleaner ahead of time, there it is. I pick up my counter cleaner, I shake it a little bit, I spray it, I love it, I clean. If I had to go through a big hoopla and jump through hoops, wouldn't be, you know, I do that at my business. When I make face cream and it has all these different ingredients and they all have to make friends and become face cream, that's what I do. That's what I focus on. I'm not going to do anything else. I'm not going to just like wander off. I can't. So that's important to keep in mind. When you want to take a nice, long, relaxing bath, make sure you have sea salt in a little container in your bathroom and a jar of essential oils. Lavender is a great one. It's great for the skin, tones the skin. Lovely. 5 drops in a half a cup, depending on how strong you want your bath. Put it in the salt, put it in the bath. There you go. No brainer. Having tea tree sitting on a shelf in your bathroom, 3 drops of tea tree on the floor of the shower, hit it with hot water. There you go. You've started your day with a little essential oils, and it's a great way to start your day, and it's like honoring yourself. Like, oh yeah, like my face routine, it's a routine. If I don't get to do it every day, I'm a little off. So it's what I do. I wash, I spritz, I moisturize, brush my teeth, and everything else one has to do to be able to go out into the world. So, long answer to your question, Jim. Highly unlikely you're gonna blend anything that would be harmful, and keep to your percentages. You only need 5 drops of your blend in your diffuser. You do not need 20. You're probably going to stop smelling it. It's there. Trust me.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Deb?
Is there a book you could recommend that says what oil is good for what purpose?
You know, I'm looking over at my bookshelf and I have at least 12 books, all on aromatherapy. Jenny Rose, R-O-S-E is her last name. You know, the best book to buy is Andrea Bruget. I don't know the name of her essential oil book. I apologize. But
Do you know how to spell her last name?
I will find out. Will take no time at all. She's amazing. She now lives in Florida, and although she comes up every summer, she may still do classes.
I'm a big fan of peppermint and lavender. I get horrific sinus headaches, and that combination puts me right and can knock it out or keep it at bay. So I don't know a lot about other kinds of essential oils, but I was introduced to that combination, and that's been really helpful to me.
That is a helpful it's a very good combination, and that's exactly what I was talking about. When you find something that works and works well for you, stick with it. And you know, it using it in different ways, like doing a roll-on or blending it a little bit with some oils or a spritzer, but when you find that blend that is yours, it's a great thing.
Did you find her last name?
I did. I'm putting it in the chat.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, anything by her.
Okay, that
I
would be helpful. I
yeah.
was interested that you dropped the name lemongrass because I just read recently about planting pots of lemongrass because it keeps mosquitoes away. And I love to be out on my deck or my front porch, and I am a mosquito magnet.
Oh, well.
And so it's on my list to see if I can buy it, to plant pots of it to put on my back deck.
Yeah, and it grows really easily. It really grows
And it's
well
like
around here. I
that,
mean, it
that's
doesn't
it.
it doesn't winter over, unfortunately, but it'll grow.
Well, I mean, we live where we live. Most of my beautiful plants don't winter over.
That's right. And the great thing about citronella plants or lemongrass is you just go up to it and put it between your fingers, and you're going to smell it and you're going to feel the essential oil in it, and that'll give out the scent. Hopefully. I mean, I'm not bothered by mosquitoes all that much, and I make a bug spray that I have on all the time. So, I mean, in the summer, but yeah, recommend it.
If I'm standing in a crowd of people, there will be others who do not get bitten by black flies in the Adirondacks or mosquitoes or anything, but I will be nailed. And they like to be near me because I become the target and they figure they're kept safe. But there's something about me that they like. So,
Wow. Well, good. I hope it works for you. I love lemongrass. I adore the scent. I'm drawn to lemongrass. Sandy, you had a question?
Hey,
Now you're
when
on.
you say you're putting 5 drops in a diffuser, is that 5 drops per ounce?
No, because so the diffusers I have, I don't really measure how much water's in it. I mean, they're only this big, so I'm just putting 5 drops in there. Do you have a big diffuser?
No, it's not very big,
Yeah.
but I just put 5 drops in it. So
So you don't worry about the percentage in that case.
No, in a diffuser, I don't worry about the percentage. I mean, it's not going on the body in any way. I mean, you'll be breathing it in, but even that, it'll be minimal, the amount you're breathing in, because it's going in the air.
So if you diffuse every day, does it cause a residue to build up on furniture that could damage the finish?
Depends on your diffuser and how close to the furniture. You know, it's kind of like a humidifier, but not. I mean, a humidifier, you're really putting moisture in the air. A diffuser, it's going to go in there and it's going to go away. Even the essential oil isn't going to stick around. I mean, you'll watch it. It's just a light vapor and nothing like a humidifier. So no, it won't hurt your furniture. I mean, I've never known it to, and I've been diffusing for years.
well, I would like to say thank you very much. I need to get off to have dinner with someone. So this has been very helpful, and thank
Thanks.
you, Jennifer, and the Cancer Resource Center for bringing Kash in to do this. It was great.
Thanks. I enjoyed meeting, and we can, unless we have more questions, we can sign off a little early. Now, I put my website in the chat. I put my email in the chat. Please feel free if you have questions. Don't hesitate to email me. Happy to answer them. And if you have questions about my products, one of the things about my products is you know who made them. You know who touched them, you know who ordered them, you know who put them together. And you also can be assured that they were made recently. That's the other thing that I just want to put a plug into in for, I make face cream once a month. So your face cream, like if you buy my face cream, it was made within the month because I only make in small batches, and being really careful when you're in a store. We have no idea how long these things have been sitting around. I don't put preservatives in my products. I use a vitamin E as a preservative. So that's important too, like when you're buying lotions and such. Try to buy a lotion that is as minimal as possible. Minimal amount of ingredients, and know your ingredients.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
I enjoyed it. Thank you all for coming and listening, putting up with me going on and on about something I love. Have a wonderful evening, everybody. I'm going to sign off unless somebody has a question.
I think
All
we're
good.
Thank you so much, Kash. Thanks, everybody. This will be, the recording will be up probably by next week on the website if you want to catch it again. Thanks.
Thanks, Jen.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for
Have a-
asking me.
Yeah.
Have
My
a great
pleasure.
night, everybody.
Great night. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.